Lwaxana Troy, however you say her name, is the worst character in Star Trek. She's supposed to be like funny every time she comes on the show, and it's never funny, and it's always like vaguely problematic and weird. And then for some reason they took this character.
Oh, so it's me.
Yeah. It's she's kind of the you.
She's kind of the me.
She's kind of the Bjorn of Star Trek TNG.
Welcome to the Love It or Hate It section of Love Hate Laughs. Are we in it? Super
I
hot.
can't believe I'm here.
Well, we appreciate that you're here.
Yeah, we do.
No, I'm happy. I just hate that it's hot.
Your timing wasn't great.
Yeah,
All right.
my timing sucked.
Hey, welcome. This is the.
That wasn't in it, was it?
Like
We
I was
weren't
like,
in it.
Yeah.
Are we in it?
We're
Do
in
we-
it.
Do
Oh,
we
we're
jump
in it.
into it? I don't
We're
know.
in it.
My timing. I'm a terrible producer.
Love it.
But you know what? I'm getting better. We're all growing together.
We're
This is what's
learning.
happening. This is the Love It or Hate It section of Love Hate Laughs. Welcome to the show.
I hate it.
And Nick, do you want to bring our guest in again?
Absolutely.
You don't have to read the or you can. I just whatever you want to do.
Picking up
You know
where
what?
I left off,
Yeah.
See if we can get it.
Paragraph 2.
our guest, paragraph 2, has a very long bio and has performed across the country. He's brought his podcast to headline comedy clubs in Indianapolis, Portland,
Ooh.
and soon many more.
The hot, aspirational.
He is a streamer.
I like to get a little aspirational
He
in
is
the
a
bio.
streamer and a video producer and has built a considerable audience as a Twitch and YouTube
Considerable.
partner.
That's just an opinion.
He's a partner at YouTube.
I am a Twitch partner.
He's one of the founding partners
That
of
is
the
actually.
firm.
I noticed you kept your shoes on, so I
He's got
figured.
lifetime viewership, well over 1 million.
Well
you
over.
can hear him on the Gamers Almanac
Old.
every Tuesday,
Yeah.
and Space Cats Peace Turtles every Wednesday. And you can watch him on Twitch on Saturdays and Sundays. Joining us from the Big Apple is Hunter Donaldson.
Hi, it's me. I'm back.
Yay.
Hello, it's me again.
Yes. Oh man, thank you for the intro, Nick and
Great job, Nick.
Thanks.
Eliza is also here. I am so bad at this,
Yeah,
You're
no,
bad at
we're
what?
doing great.
you know, and
What are you
it's
bad
okay.
at?
Here we go.
Oh, heck
Here we
yeah.
go.
Here
Love
we
it or
go.
hate it.
Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah.
wow, this is a great Love It or Hate It.
Yeah.
Star Trek TNG guest
Yeah.
actors. There's been a lot of really good ones. I can't wait till we get to Terry O'Quinn.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I did not make this.
Oh.
Our producer Paul did, and I'm so excited. So I'm.
It's a surprise for
It's
you,
a
too.
surprise for everyone here, and
Hell yeah.
can I have a thing? Or no, I won't do mine.
Oh, okay. Well, why
I just
don't-
wanted to do.
Oh, no.
Just have it. Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
like a
oh,
paper plane, dude.
wow.
Yeah.
a
that
good
was
throw.
that was good.
That
but
was
I love
sports.
it.
We had some sports on the show.
I did. I'm more of a stick guy. Like I can hit
Oh.
stuff, but catch and throw.
Stick ball?
nothing.
You're a stick ball guy?
If anything with like a racket or a
Dude,
hitting it,
we
like
could
golf,
play ping pong with these
ping
things.
pong,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
pickleball, dude.
Pickleball. Pickleball's huge right now.
Why? What?
Because
Where
it's
did that-
fun and even idiots can do it.
Did you? Okay. Did anyone know about pickleball before pickleball became a thing?
No.
Anyone
Oh,
here?
fuck.
I did
Did
because
you?
for my whole life, I've always been like, I want to learn how to play tennis, but I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just look at it,
Why?
I'm like, I can't do this.
Or you play and you're like, it's just too much running.
Right.
Can we do like bigger table tennis?
So for like 10 years, have been talking about all the tennis alternatimes, all the tennis,
Really?
like badminton.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, I do love
pickleball.
badminton.
Yeah, badminton
Badminton's
rules.
fun.
And I like those. Those are great. Tennis, I think it's too nitpicky. You know what I mean? And so you're just messing up. The whole time it's just you messing up, and it's embarrassing. And I don't want to mess up
Yeah.
at something
The
all day.
scoring is also dumb.
Well, the scoring, yeah, I wouldn't even
scoring's
get.
complicated.
I
I've
just need to
never
be able
figured
to
it
hit
out.
the ball reliably. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
I think
I have no
badminton-
problem admitting that. I can't hit
Badminton's
it.
my favorite
With the
because
birdie.
the
That
little
one
thing
rules.
The
is
birdie.
The
Shuttlecock?
birdie is also called a
The shuttlecock.
Yeah.
The shuttlecock
and that's
is
a funny word to say.
it's engineered for fun. That thing, yeah, and it moves in slow motion. You know what I mean? Anybody
Yeah.
can hit it. And
It kind of feels like you're playing in bullet time. 'cause you're just
yeah,
like-
yes, it's a bullet time game, and you just get to really smack the shit
Yeah.
out of it too. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You really whack it.
It kind of feels like
Yeah.
a video game for kids that has like an easy
Yeah.
where you just boop
It's like
and
Pong.
then just
So you'd heard of pickleball?
Oh
for
yeah,
real?
yeah. I was aspirational for pickleball.
I went to a normal high school, but we played in PE. We had like units of different
Mhm.
sports. You had
Yep,
to like
yep.
learn how they work.
That's where I
Pickleball
played
was a
badminton.
unit of
Yeah.
that we did.
Really?
Yeah. So I was just like, well, the whole time I was like, isn't this just tennis for I don't know,
That
that
is-
you can fit into a gymnasium for
Yeah.
a whole PE class.
Yeah, and it rules.
And-
turns out, actually, it fucking rules.
Yeah, and it's loud when there's that many people pickling.
That's my favorite part about people complaining about it is that they're
How
just
loud
like,
it
it's
is.
loud and ruining my neighborhood. And I'm like, you know what?
Well, yeah,
It's
but
the new skateboarding. I love that
So
it's the new
funny.
Yeah.
It's the
skateboarding.
new
There
skateboard.
were, like-
They're just like, they're ruining our tennis courts.
It's like for old people. That's the thing about it, though.
People are
Yeah.
like, oh, I couldn't play tennis anymore, but I can pick this thing up.
I can do
well, and
it.
a bunch of
Pickleball.
old people took over a Portland park, all the tennis courts, and they turned them into pickleball courts. And everyone was
Dude.
like, "You can't just do that."
The one by I live by Buckman Field. There's a whole tennis court area, and I drove by at night, and the lights were on, and there was just like 1,000 people playing pickleball.
Yeah. Yeah.
It actually makes more sense, like for a city too, because
Sure.
there were 2 pickleball games happening on each court,
Yeah.
so you get double the ball,
Efficiency.
double the pickles.
I like that cornhole has become a spectator sport.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
actually
it
one of my
always
favorite.
was, though, even
I
in the
didn't-
backyard.
Well,
you
okay,
didn't have that like in
at a
Arkansas?
local level, but now that it's like on
Oh.
television and everyone's sponsored by Bush Beans or whatever,
Yeah.
I think that's great because I think what's going to happen is eventually people are just going to lose their taste for like the real sports.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
only sports people are going to want to watch is like bocce ball and
Just,
shit
like,
like that.
drunk
like just
activities?
stuff. Yeah, just
Hell
drunk
yeah.
activities.
Just drunk
Axe
activities.
throwing. That'll be like one of the biggest
Yeah, the new
sports.
Super Bowl
I
is
mean,
just
bowling
like,
has
welcome
made
to the
a-
Big Buck Hunter World Series.
I would
And
absolutely
that's
watch
the new,
that.
yeah,
On
like
Twitch.
Katy
I'd watch it
Perry
on
is
Twitch.
headlining
Yeah,
the
yeah.
The halftime show.
We're headed for that. People
You
are
just-
like,
It shows the warm up, and it's just like a bunch of boys just like hanging at the bar, just putting them
yeah.
away.
doing the critter challenge.
people don't care about athletic ability anymore. It's just
No.
like, are you weirdly good at this one
It's too
thing?
hot outside.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen
Yeah,
like the
you're
League
right.
of Legends
Oh, yeah.
competitions. That's just
Esports.
insane.
Oh yeah, they've
There's
sold
so
out.
much money
real
in
money.
those.
That's real
Haven't,
money.
Yeah.
Hasn't League of Legends like sold out Madison Square Garden or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that? I feel
Oh.
like they did.
I believe it.
I do love all the documentaries where the parents are just like, they're like, go quit playing this dumb game and get a job, and then the parent and they're like, I'm making $1 million, and like, I don't give a shit. They're always still just like disappointed that they're like, well, this is like blood money.
What weirdos.
You made this playing a video game.
It's blood money.
I will
Yeah.
say I know a lot of people that play too much video games, and not a single one of them has made $1 million.
Yep.
So
True.
on
Me too.
average, if you spend your whole life playing video games, you're probably not gonna make $1 million.
No.
You know what?
You might, but
Also,
probably
Probably not.
shout out to that dad. That's probably why they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they're just looking for that little bit of affection
Spite.
Yeah.
or approval.
That's
and
what
he
it
just
is.
he's never gonna give it
Yeah,
to him.
so
That's what
according
it
to
is.
Bjorn, if you want your kids to be successful,
Yeah.
you
Don't
should
love them.
emotionally abuse them.
Yep.
Do not give them love.
Neglect.
Deprive them
Yep.
of love.
Till they make
Neglect
that
will
million,
make it.
then you
Yeah.
can give them just a taste.
Hey, I
Just
mean-
a taste.
Job
Maybe a
security
little
for
hug.
me. Job
A
security.
side
Yeah,
hug.
that'll help
Yeah, helps me
Eliza
out too,
on the
job
back
security.
end.
Yeah.
I
There
mean,
you go.
it clearly worked on us, right? I mean,
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
just be real here.
Yeah, let's be
I mean,
honest.
there's 4 I see 4 people on this podcast right now.
We didn't even try to do sports about it.
We didn't even try to do sports about it. We're just sitting around fucking around basically for our whole lives.
Well,
Just talking.
Well, it's like
Not
we
talk,
we
not
watched
stopping.
we liked the recap part of the sports where they had the headphones and the
Yep.
microphones. And
Yeah.
we're like, I want to do that, but like,
Let's
can
do
you
that.
cut out the sports part?
Without sports, a sort of talking,
Yeah.
but not sports.
But like
Without
I don't know
sports.
about that, and I don't want to learn
I don't wanna
anything
learn
new.
about
I
that.
just want to talk. I just want to talk a bunch.
Endlessly
and-
into a microphone.
Yeah,
It helps.
Yeah.
For a minute.
I agree. Love
Yeah.
it.
Love it. Love it. All right. So we're doing Star Trek: The Next Generation. I
Yeah.
don't know in the last episode if we ever. I think we just said TNG.
Oh, yeah,
and I
sorry.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
You
actually.
said it. You said it right from the
Oh,
jump.
did he? Okay.
Yeah. No.
So TNG, not to be mixed up with TNT, the channel.
Yeah, that was.
That doesn't
Does it
exist. No.
Turned into Spike and then went away entirely.
Yeah.
That was like a
R.I.P.
country channel.
R.I.P.
I thought-
TNT.
I thought TNT was only wrestling.
Oh.
It was
No.
mostly
It was
wrestling,
originally
right?
like
That sounds
country
cool.
music and like.
Oh wow,
hee-haw
these are
shit.
my favorite things.
You're like country music wrestling channel.
Country music wrestling channel? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I'm into it. Yeah.
That sounds like that's better than Star Trek.
That's
right
going to
there.
become the new ESPN based on what we were just talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
pretty soon.
Those
it'll just
are
be-
the people that play cornhole the most.
Yeah.
I do really want to see a televised. Dude, you know what we should do?
I've watched the World
We-
Series of cornhole. At a
No,
bar.
World
It's
Series
pretty
of
fun.
Big Buck Hunter. Like just
Yeah.
like do what they did with League of Legends, but like
Yeah,
let's sell
but
out
it's
Madison
big,
Square
big Buck
Garden.
Hunter. Yeah.
But
With
it's
big
There's just
Big
one
Buck
big
Hunter.
Buck Hunter machine down
Yeah.
there.
But we
They
like,
have to-
20,000 people.
They have to put the dollar in. They have to like
yeah.
Yeah.
part of it.
It's not free play. It's like you have to pay.
And like part of how the athletes part of their walk on is like flexing how crisp of a $1
Yeah.
bill they
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
straight from the bank.
Oh, they have crispers.
Yeah,
Crispers
They, like,
they,
roll it through
they
a thing.
get it out of a machine and then
Yeah.
they're like flexing like a UFC fighter coming
Wow.
up there. They got
With
walk
the
on
big
music.
Stack.
That's
Yeah.
so.
and then we have a podcast recording before as like the opener.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
we do commentary throughout, and then
God.
we
Yeah.
do a show afterward where we're just like, man, the way he like could tell when it was a bull moose versus a cow moose, he really you could tell that he could see the antlers
Excellent.
even behind the rocks. He knows the patterns of the game.
And the visibility gets pretty tricky on that level.
Yeah, man, that level has clouds and rain. It's really tricky to tell
It's tough.
which direction the bucks are gonna run.
Yeah, I've never played that game. I realize.
Well, you
like, I've
can
seen
you can
it, but-
only shoot the bucks. You can't shoot the does.
Well, yeah, that's just
But you can also shoot
Morality.
critters, and you get a critter bonus.
In
What
real
kind of
life, though,
critters?
you can shoot the does.
You can shoot
actually.
as long as you don't get
That's-
caught.
You just
That's
don't
one
tell
thing my
anyone.
dad. Well, my dad did that.
No, you
Wait.
can shoot the does.
I was having a thought today. Do
Yeah.
you think deer get sad when they shed their antlers and they're like, "Damn, that was a good pair"? Like,
Yeah.
they're like it was like really tight.
They look
like
at the
I was like-
rack and they're like, "Damn, I looked
Yeah.
good."
They
Yeah.
look at that, and then they look down at their dick, and they're like, "I gotta grow another one."
I was thinking about that today. Like,
I
do
was
they get
all
sad?
antler, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, I think what happens is the antlers start to get itchy. So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it actually is like
They're
a
like, "Thank
relief.
God."
Sure.
Because like
Yeah.
when they go to knock them off, they're like banging them against rocks and shit.
And
that's
they're
trying to get
heavy.
them off.
They're heavy.
Yeah, it's like,
Sure.
I mean, do you ever just not trim your toenails for 7 years?
and then you finally.
Do you ever
clip
do
'em.
that?
Oh God, that.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
makes
when
you
they
know,
just get
I-
too
They
long
They start
and you're
tearing
like,
up the inside of your shoes and all
Yeah.
your socks are
sheets,
fucked up.
Your sheets
Yeah.
are fucked up.
and if you sleep in a bed with someone, you accidentally cut them at night.
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
you have like
Accidentally.
accidentally.
depending.
Well, yeah.
I guess I'm just channeling.
I am.
my mind.
All right, I'm definitely the worst producer.
Love it.
Keeping us
Love
on
it.
Love it.
track.
Love it.
Okay, Star Trek TNG guest actors, love it or hate it. First one, we
Ashley
have
Judd. Oh,
Ashley
yeah, dude.
Judd. The Next Generation provided Ashley Judd with her first on-screen experience. The star, an activist, earned her stripes, paying
Robin Leffler.
Robin Leffler.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ensign.
She's like barely in this
Ensign
show. She's in
Robin
like
Leffler.
one episode. Like this is like very in depth. Actually, that episode listed there, Darmok. I think she's just literally
Darmok.
in a scene and someone just said something to her.
Like
So,
she had a speaking role.
This is pretty in depth. She's really just in one episode.
No, it's
Okay.
2. It says 2.
I know, but she's really just in one.
I see.
this,
I
yeah.
see.
though her role in Darmok is small, the episode is Memrick. Memek. Fave that untangles a linguistic riddle through Picard's Shakespearean flair.
Oh, I don't know if that's how I would sum up. I mean, what?
But Judd gets a taste of the spotlight in her second appearance, where
Oh shit.
Leifer and Wes
Leafer, yes,
Crusher
Leafer and Crusher.
struggle to resist.
These characters have really interesting
lure.
names. Leafer and Crusher.
resist to lure the lure of a dangerously addictive video game.
Yeah.
Big Buck Hunter.
Big Buck,
Yeah.
like Big Buck
Well,
Hunter.
actually, that episode is much funnier than Big Buck Hunter because
Okay.
it's this game they play where they put this thing on their heads,
Mhm.
and it's just like a simple game where you throw like frisbees into these little tornado things.
Mhm.
But for some reason, they decided that the way they wanted to show this game, because it's like an addiction story, it kind of looks like everyone is coming, basically. So it's an episode where you can see every single actor on Star Trek come a little. You gotta watch
wait,
this
do
one.
an impression. Like they just are like
they're just like they have the thing on and they're just like. And it's everybody. Patrick Stewart does it. They all do it. Worf does it with the forehead ridges on. You see his O face, dude. Bro.
Finally, they just like
LeVar Burton comes a good one on that episode. You got to watch that one. Not for, I mean, Ashley Judd is whatever. On
Well,
it, but-
apparently
Yeah.
Judd
Nick
gets
needs
her
to make a
first
list.
on-screen kiss by the end of the episode. A charming beginning to her healthy career.
So good for her that on her first episode on television, she had to kiss someone. Isn't that cool? I bet that happened to a lot of the men on Star Trek, right? I bet they all had to, because we all, it's not, I don't want to get woke here. But you know how men, we always have to kiss our first time doing anything.
Yep.
Oh, I'm here because that's, if I ever get on television, which I will be, I hope they're like, well, are you prepared to kiss?
Ashley Judd.
Ashley,
Kiss her
well,
in
that
particular.
that would not be difficult, but
You'd be okay. You'd be okay.
that would be easy because I also watched the show when I was a child, so all of everyone imprinted on me sexually. Everyone in this show imprinted on me sexually.
Is this a love it or hate it? Is what I want to
Love
know.
it.
Oh, okay. Eliza, what's
I don't think
your-
I'm gonna hate any of
Ashley-
these, by the way. I don't know if this is gonna mess up the thing. I just thought,
fine.
why would I hate this? I'm literally here because I'm like, oh, I love this show.
That's a really good
Yeah.
point.
Okay, I'm also going to say I love it.
Okay.
I have a soft spot for all of the Judds.
Yeah.
Like, her mom and sister were like a famous country music duo. And
What
then-
else was Ashley Judd in after the on-screen
Oh, she was like
kiss?
in a lot of stuff. I mean, she was in, there was like that John Grisham movie.
I don't know it.
But the thing is, the
About
reason,
a
get
court
on
case,
Wikipedia.
probably.
yeah, there was a court case. But the reason you don't remember, she was also
Someone
like
was accused.
Harvey Weinstein or whatever, like blacklisted her because she wouldn't play along. So she like disappeared for a long time.
Good job, Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but
So
love
it's
her.
a
Although
love it.
it sucks that
Nick,
it-
what about you?
Oh, apparently she was in Barry. Cool,
she's
I
in
love
the
it.
show.
I
Oh,
like
I
that
love it.
show.
All
Yeah,
right.
hell yeah. For just another show.
I'm just scrolling Wikipedia trying to find like
Something
who is
you've
this
seen.
person? How
Yeah.
do I know her?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she like everyone knew who her mom and sister were, and then she's like, actually, I'm an actress, and everyone's like, oh wow, because she's a good actress.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll just say just casually, I hate it.
Yeah,
Okay,
how
let's
about
move
that?
on.
Yeah, that's good.
I hate it. I wish they hadn't given her a job.
Yeah, you know what? I hate it now. How about this? Fuck you, Ashley Judd.
Like, why you gotta do other stuff?
She's
you
been
know,
through
why
a
you gotta
lot.
act?
She's been through a lot.
Let's see. How am I gonna make this hard? Oh, you know what? I think there should only be men on Star Trek.
Yeah.
There should be no women on Star Trek ever.
Yeah.
No women.
So woke you went all the way around.
Yeah.
A future where there are no women.
Hunter just saw the Barbie movie and had the wrong takeaway.
This would be better if everyone were men.
You saw that as a cautionary tale.
Women are taking
All
over.
right, next one.
Stephen Hawking, yeah.
Stephen
He
Hawking.
was in for like 2 seconds.
Stephen Hawking was one of the modern giants of physics, reshaping the scientific understanding of a general relativity and becoming a best-selling author with his layperson approach text.
Approachable. Layperson approachable.
You know, I love that I'm having to read this
I'm gonna-
in front of you guys
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm not good at this.
I'm going to jump on you every time.
I know
Just so
that.
you know.
And I
I'm
love
not gonna
just
let
the
a single
terror
one
that it
go.
is, where I'm so carefully.
You're back to like 7th grade.
This
it's
feels
your
like
turn
it.
to read out loud.
I was always so excited when it
Popcorn
was my turn to
Bjorn.
read.
Okay, Popcorn
really?
Eliza.
Oh, yeah.
I never
you
liked
got the
reading
rest
out
of this
loud.
one?
Yeah.
Popcorn Eliza.
Becoming a best-selling author with his layperson approachable text, A Brief History of Time, Hawking was also, like many in his high-tech fields, a big fan of science fiction.
A nerd.
Yeah. According to Stephen Hawking, A Life Well Lived by Kitty Ferguson, it was Leonard Nimoy who discovered that Hawking wanted to guest star on Star Trek, and Nimoy reached out to make it happen. Hawking is the only person to play himself, appearing in the 6th season episode Descent as a member of Lieutenant Commander Data's poker game against some of history's greatest scientific minds.
Yeah. So he's like at a table with like Albert Einstein and the guy with the Apple guy. The guy with that. Not,
Newton.
not
Newton.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
The Apple
Newton.
guy.
No, it's before
Newton.
Steve Jobs was cool.
Why is Steve Jobs here? Well, he bankrolled this episode. So.
No, it was when he had no money back
Yeah.
then.
The thing I love about this appearance, though, is that I always like imagining in the future that maybe Stephen Hawking, like we think Stephen Hawking is a famous person now, but that's not really, it will be proved later whether Stephen Hawking is famous.
Yeah.
So in 100 years, someone might be watching Star Trek The Next Generation because that's a franchise that still exists.
Right.
And they see this table and they're like, Albert Einstein, Newton. And who's that fucking guy?
That guy.
Stephen Hawking is also quite a striking presence. So,
Yeah.
like, if they're like, I don't know who that is. And I love that.
And they're probably like, isn't this the future?
Yeah.
Don't you think they would have figured something out?
That's actually.
That is actually very controversial.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
I'm going to clip that
That's
for sure.
That's
Yeah,
what.
please
Well,
do.
it's really funny that you went there though, because that was one of the takes people had about Patrick Stewart when the show started because he was bald.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people were like, "Why is there baldness in the future? This doesn't
Right.
make sense." You know,
Well, and also LeVar Burton being blind.
right? I
Right.
think it was intentional. They were like,
Right.
"Yeah,
That they still
Yeah,
haven't figured out. There is something hilarious that they didn't figure out how. Like, they can explore universes, but they can't get hair to grow in that spot on
Yeah.
his head anymore. Like,
Maybe it was a choice. Maybe he just likes the ball.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think that's
maybe,
kind of what
yeah.
they're going for,
Yeah.
but it's also like with Geordi's blindness, very frequently in the show that he loses his visor or whatever, and then he just can't see.
he gets
So they'll-
Thelma'd.
Right.
He Thelma's.
So even with their attitude of like, oh, like disabilities, there's like a different attitude about it in the future. They still also use it as like a
plot
prop.
device,
yeah,
yeah.
whenever they need it for the story as a cheap trick, you know. So, but yeah, whatever. You know what? Fuck Stephen Hawking. He's not famous. He's not gonna be famous. He's not like Albert Einstein. He's just like some guy. I don't know what he did.
Yeah, he didn't.
I don't know.
even go
Can
to
you tell me
acting
what he
school.
did?
Yeah, what
Can
did he
anyone
even
here
do?
say why Stephen Hawking is
I
so famous?
I think black holes was.
He
the thing
did
was,
black holes.
Yeah, he made.
Well,
them.
he,
black
on
he
his own.
reshaped the scientific understanding of general relativity.
Okay, cool. I don't know what that means. That sounds too specific. That sounds like something we think that's famous, but in 100 years, are people going to remember that? I don't know.
fair.
Does he have a variable named after him? Because Newton
Probably.
has a unit of
yeah.
mass
Yeah.
named after him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein has an equation that everybody
probably has
like-
knows,
E
but
equals
doesn't
MC squared.
actually know what it
He
means.
probably
Yeah.
has like a quirk.
All right.
Yeah.
A quark.
He probably
that
does
is
have
a
quark.
thing.
Isn't
A quark is a thing. I forget what it is.
wait?
Well,
What's
dude,
your opinion?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I love it.
Love it. Okay.
Because, and this is going to be in sharp contrast to the thing I hated in this episode, but like he totally cheated on his wife, and you know
Oh,
what? Like
yeah.
I give him credit. Like he had a
Damn.
lot to
Yeah, that's
overcome, and
pretty
he
cool.
made it happen. It was like his nurse.
Good for him.
Yeah. So it's like
He didn't need to take out an ad.
no,
He
he
just-
didn't. He just like looked at the nearest woman.
He likes pina coladas.
Yeah, but probably not getting caught in the
No,
rain.
probably not.
I don't know. Good
What
enough
do you-
chair
what do you
might
think?
have some waterproofing.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
I'm gonna say love it.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a fun cameo. I assume it was a speaking role.
It was.
Yeah.
But
Did they just upload his script?
Probably. You were going to have to cut out so much of this. We cannot put this up, like that part up.
why? That's funny. Anyway, yeah.
I'm not dealing with the TikTok blowback.
No TikTok blowback.
Put it up on mine. I'll make
All
one.
right. All right. Fine. I love it. I love it. I really love the representation and that they involved him.
I've come back around. I love
I'm
it.
coming around. I'm just trying to save face.
You're
just
really-
a
You've
little
all
bit.
you've all made good points.
You're
I
really
love it.
flip flopping a lot there, Hunter.
Yeah, it's
This
hard for
is
me
a-
to stay. I mean, I don't know.
This
it's
is
just,
a podcast of strong opinions.
It's everyone's
Yeah.
so philosophical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
it's just I'm getting caught up.
I think this is the last one. What? Kirsten Dunst was
Yeah.
on it?
Do you want me
Yeah.
to read it again?
Yeah, I'm not good at reading. That's why I practice so
Tough
much.
to-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kirsten Dunst became a sensation at age 12 as the too young vampire Claudia in 1994's Interview with the Vampire, and later built her career on taking chances on films like Lars von Trier's Melancholia. She's best known to many as the Raimi Spider-Verse's Mary Jane Watson, longtime true love of Peter Parker. But just 1 year before her breakout role, Dunst guest starred on Star Trek in the season 7 episode Dark Page. She plays an alien girl named Hedril, a telepath and one of the first of her species to learn to speak aloud. Her tutor, Laxwana Troy, has unconsciously connected the girl with her deceased first daughter, Kestra. The experience leads to a traumatic shock for Lixwana and eventually the first steps towards healing.
I hate it. This episode blows. This is like a really, really bad episode. And last time I actually just recently rewatched the entirety of Star Trek The Next Generation. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's fresh on my mind. And this is a season 7 episode, as it says, which means I watched this one pretty recently. I can't summarize the plot of this episode for you, and I watched this episode like 2 weeks ago because it's so dull, and so it's such a bummer. So this lady here, not Kirsten Dunst, Loaxana Troy, however you say her fucking name, is the worst character in Star Trek. She's supposed to be like funny every time she comes on the show, and it's never funny, and it's always like vaguely problematic and weird. And then for some reason they took this character.
Oh, so it's me.
Yeah. It's she's kind of the you.
She's kind of the me.
She's kind of the Bjorn of Star Trek TNG. So I hate it. I hate Bjorn in space. Bjorn should stay on Earth. Bjorn should stay on Earth. Love it. I actually love it. Hate it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Hey, wait, where did you land? I don't even.
On hate it.
Hate it. Okay.
I hate it.
What do you think?
I hate it because I don't like her cunty little haircut.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Like, she's too smug.
Yeah.
I like Loxwana, or however you say her name, because I feel like she would just show up and just be like a total slut every time.
Oh, that's
and
true.
I respect that. She was like trying to hit on Riker, even though it was her daughter's partner, and like
the sluttiness of the character is great.
Yeah.
The execution of, I just feel like anytime Star Trek TNG tried to be purely comedic,
yeah,
it never really worked
Sure.
for me.
That's-
I never found them like funny.
So still me.
They're
Still
very
me.
funny people, not on purpose. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
but
right.
on purpose,
Yeah,
it's just
when
like,
they try to write
yeah,
comedy.
flat
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fair.
that was I think why I stopped watching. There was a few episodes that it gets kind of dull,
yeah.
and a little formulaic. I think
Yeah.
I think it was like season 4 or 5 when I was watching it, and I started to guess everything that was going to happen,
Sure.
and I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, oh, this is like this, and I was like, oh my
Mhm.
god, no, I can't watch this anymore.
Well, it's kind of a warm blanket show. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
It's not really like trying to challenge you.
You're not
all
supposed
that
to
much.
think
and
too
if you're
much.
watching
Yeah.
too many back to back, no one was doing that when they were
Yeah, no,
writing
you
this.
don't binge this show.
No,
No.
this was not a show
Like
that
I said, it's a bedtime
It
story.
is. It's
You
a
just watch
bedtime
one
story.
before bed, and then you're good.
Yeah.
it's great. All right, Nick, what you got? What you thinking?
I'm gonna go hate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell
'Cause
yeah.
I don't like child actors.
Oh,
I agree.
children.
I agree.
And
I
the
didn't
whole,
even.
I
I
mean,
didn't even hit on that point.
but you hated this, so you're right in another way, Hunter.
Yeah.
Good ally.
Yeah.
Um,
Children shouldn't act.
well, I don't have
actually-
Only adults.
I agree with that. Actually,
No, they all get taken advantage of, and then they end
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
up
that's
doing
true.
fucking
Yeah.
just CGI
drugs and shit.
We can CGI them now. We don't need actual children. in
Actually,
there.
Kirsten Dunst though did actually just grow up to be a
She-
seemingly normal person.
she-
who's
yeah,
she
really,
got away
She's
with it.
actually a really great actress.
she really
good
is.
for her.
Yeah.
She's fucking.
I don't know.
Um,
It's still, I
but she
still
shouldn't do her
think
hair that
child
way.
actors
Definitely
are
hate
weird.
it though. Definitely hate it. But Kirsten Dunst is really cool.
You know,
yeah,
what?
she's
Actually,
great.
I love it. I'm sorry.
well, I was gonna just go
Oh,
love
yeah,
it just
go
so
ahead.
that there was a little
Oh,
love
sure.
for
Yeah.
the
For
the
Kirsten
Dunst.
She's so good.
No, I don't
Honestly,
dislike
and the
her,
episode's
I just-
great.
yeah.
Actually,
Was she
did
in-
I say it was bad? It's really good. I love this.
Was she in Bend It Like Beckham, or am I?
No,
I
that's
did
Keira Knightley.
Okay, yeah, I get them kind of. They're kind of filed under the same the
Yeah.
same folder in my brain.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Was she in Domino, or was that also Keira Knightley?
I don't know.
I don't think she's in Domino. She's in Fargo
is-
season 2. If you saw season 2 of Fargo, one of the greatest seasons of television of all time, she's really good. in it.
Okay.
She is
I will have
married
to
to
check
Jesse
that out.
Plemons, and she
Yeah.
met Jesse Plemons on the set of Fargo
Ooh,
season 2.
okay.
Yeah,
Also,
they're like a
Jesse
Hollywood-
Plemons fucking rules.
I've been
absolutely right.
I gotta watch that show.
Did you watch Game Night?
I have not seen Game Night.
It's his role in that is so good.
Dude, yeah.
The
Jesse Plemons.
All right,
Ugh.
next one.
Oh yeah.
Who's this?
Frankie
She
Jansen.
was in
She's
X-Men.
a Bond girl. Oh, I know
Well,
who this is.
She played Jean Grey in X-Men.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what she's famous for, I guess.
How do you say her name?
Famke.
Famke?
Janssen.
Let's call her Famke Jamsey.
Jamsey.
Famke Jamsey.
Fancy Jancy.
Okay, so she's the one in GoldenEye and X-Men. But Jean and Professor Xavier actually had their first encounter 3 years before
You're
her
back to
breakout
reading it.
moment.
Well, I can't even read. There's not enough context.
Yeah,
I
this
can't
is-
read it.
I
so-
could read it.
We got a little wild with
You want me to
the
read it?
presentation here.
Paul really
All right.
really gave it to us on this one.
Yeah.
So it says she became a hot topic as a Bond girl in 1995's GoldenEye and later endeared herself to X-Men fans as the face of Jean Grey in the 2000 film franchise. But Jean and Professor Xavier actually had their first encounter 3 years before her breakout moment when Jansen played the empathetic Kamala in The Perfect Mate. As a Cryosian metamorph,
Yeah, you nailed it.
her
Nailed it.
destiny was to marry for diplomatic and political purposes. But Kamala falls in love with Jean-Luc Picard. She imprints her personality on his desires instead, though she still marries her arranged partner. It's a terrific episode, although seeing Jansen in a gentle, mentoring relationship with Patrick Stewart almost a decade later can be surprising for Star Trek
Sure,
fans.
yeah. It is cool that they worked together. I also hate this episode. So a through line here. I didn't really like Star Trek TNG episodes that have a lot to do with relationships that are like familial. Because I think the writer's room was like way too dude heavy. So they would like kind of fuck up the nuance of something like this episode is sort of about arranged marriage and like what a romantic partner like can mean to someone and how there can be like a lot of cultural differences with that type of stuff. And I feel like it doesn't do a very good job of talking about any of those things and instead is a little horny for Famke Jamsey.
Gotcha.
And instead, so it gets a little distracted, I feel like, by that. So I feel like in general, the show, like when it tries to tackle something like this is when it is kind of the weakest. And most of the time it's because there's just too many dudes. And
It's from
none
their
of them
perspective.
None of them knew anything
Yeah.
about
Yeah, they were
the
writers on
intricacies of
Star
some-
Trek.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
single.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any erasure though. There were a lot of women that even wrote for the original series, but I think that sometimes they showed the dude to lady ratio as being a little out of whack, and I think this is a good example of an episode that does that a little bit. But I mean, it's people love every episode of Star Trek, so whatever. I say I hate it.
You hate it.
But I mean,
Okay.
Famke's great, so I do kind of love it. Though. And I mean, her hair is really good.
Yeah.
It is good
And this,
hair.
I mean, her costume in this episode, unbelievable. So I do love that.
Okay.
But I do hate the episode.
Eliza, what do you think? We'll just do the same order again.
I'm going to say hate.
Hate it. Okay.
Because she imprints her personality on his desires, and too many people do that, and don't do that. Like, just be yourself.
Well, yeah, and
what
it's
does that mean?
That
I'm
means
gonna
that, like,
be
she
honest.
figured out what he was into, and she's like, that's who I am.
she well, the episode's called The Perfect Mate because what she does is she
okay.
just becomes the perfect partner for someone, which
Gotcha.
is like that's a good science fiction premise to
Yeah.
explore a lot of ideas about relationships. But again, if it's too dude heavy, it might not really be very nuanced in a very interesting
Gotcha.
way. Like, and might be a little more interested in how hot she is, which is, in my opinion, what this episode is like. But whatever.
Yeah.
But I do love it.
All right, Nick, what about you?
Not gonna lie, it sounds kind of funny, so I'm gonna go love it.
It is pretty funny. That's pretty
fair.
funny because
Yeah,
it's
I like the idea of just really heavy-handed writing
yeah.
where they just like totally don't get it. That sounds
Yeah,
pretty fucking
they're-
funny to me.
It's heavy-handed and they're not
Like,
they're
going
not seeing how
into
much
it-
they're missing.
Going
it.
in to it to notice that sounds like a fun time.
Dude, yeah.
Just to be like how like obviously do these guys like not fucking get
right.
it?
Did they, how
Like, that
obviously
sounds
do
really
they not
funny.
understand what's going on?
They're
yeah.
just like just like writing some lady
Yeah.
who's just like, hey, hot stuff, or some
Dude,
bullshit
yeah,
like
and-
that.
And it's like a episode where like we're supposed to believe like that she and Patrick Stewart are gonna maybe get together. Patrick Stewart, who's like a bald old
It's like
man,
40
you
years
know?
her senior.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's hot.
So I
get
do
it.
love it because he is hot. Yeah, exactly.
He is in charge
I
of a
would-
And
spaceship.
Oh
still
my-
got it.
I would-
Yeah, he may be just like a very wealthy, powerful older man.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and-
get it.
and
He
a
might
position
just
of
be like,
authority.
dude, it'd be pretty
Yeah.
fire to inherit a spaceship.
Absolutely. I just want to say love it because
not even
I
mad
would
at that.
lick Patrick Stewart's bald head. I would
Ooh,
lick it.
okay.
I would
Who wouldn't?
suck on it like a jawbreaker.
I'm
Your
gonna
Patreon
go,
views
you know
would
what?
go up.
Nick, you have convinced me. I'm gonna say love it, but I'm mostly because I really like the actress. I love her as Jean Grey, and I loved her that GoldenEye was one of my favorite Bond movies. Growing up, I watched it just on repeat.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, right?
Big fan.
Pierce
I believe it was the
Brosnan.
first Pierce Brosnan one,
Yeah.
and
I just
big
remember
fan.
when I was a freshman in college, the boys just played GoldenEye all the time.
Yeah, dude.
It
the
was like a
video game came out kind of a while
later,
after the
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, 'cause this was,
the
like,
movie had already been
1998.
out.
Yeah.
And they were just like, shit, we got to still put this thing out.
Well, things moved slower back then.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I remember. I think I played that video game one time. I was too young for that to be a game that people were playing when I was
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
old enough to play those kind of games. But I remember
How
playing
old
it
are
one
you?
time. I was born in '94.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and
a
I
baby.
didn't have video games a lot growing up.
Wow.
My parents hated them.
Well, I
So-
lived in the woods,
Yeah.
so when it came
So
to
you had a Genesis?
I had all of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
You needed something to fucking
that's-
do.
It's all I needed. Okay.
Phones and
Uh,
iPads hadn't been invented.
GoldenEye,
No, I remember
GoldenEye for
playing
the
it, and
Nintendo
I was
64. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember playing it and being like, this is a this is
Yeah.
a cool game.
Yeah.
That's something I feel like I missed out on.
Yeah. You
Seems
did.
like an era of video games that I got the tail end of. I got
Mhm.
the Halo days of split screen shooters with your
Oh,
friends.
yeah, yeah.
And that
You're
was
spoiled.
the most fun shit ever. So the original of that
This
had
is
to
the
be
this is the
the
thing
shit.
before that.
Yeah, this was the original split screen
Mhm.
shooter
Yeah.
with
Oh,
your
yeah.
friends.
and you could only play 4. Maximum.
That was the most fun you could have.
And it kind of sucked. I actually hate it, but because it was just so janky, and so you kind of just had to make it fun. You had to force that game to be fun.
Yeah.
I remember being a child and being like, "This kind of sucks, but we're having fun because it's different."
Once you would figure out the hack to,
Well, the
to
maps
be
are pretty
dominant.
small.
Maps
then
were
you
really
like-
small. The aiming was really stupid and hard to do. So no one was really good at it. It kind of just felt like people were just kind of shuffling.
They
around.
hadn't really figured out how to make that kind of
Well,
game
have
yet.
you seen the Nintendo 64 controller?
Yeah, it had that
It's
janky little
horrible.
joystick that was
It's
always
huge.
flopped over.
It's messed
so
up.
huge.
And and 3 prongs. I remember it was a goofy looking controller.
Yeah, love the controller. I will say that.
Love the controller.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Hate the game.
All right, that's the last one. That was super fun, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Well, you can follow me on Backlogged, which is a game. It's a website. Backlogged is a new social media platform. It's sort of like Goodreads, but it's for video games.
Ooh.
And we were just talking about video games. And if you want to get on Backlogged, all you have to do is make an account and then follow me. My name's Hunter Donaldson. I decided I'm not Hunbun on.
You need consistent branding.
I do, yeah. I'm meeting with a social media person in a week to actually talk about how much I'm fucking up. And she's just going to be like, yeah, you really are bad at this. And there's some obvious things you could do to change it. Anyways, I'm Hunter Donaldson on Backlog. If you want to follow me there, I want to be the biggest guy on Backlogged is what I want.
I
So
love
just
it.
make an account.
Thank you so much for being on the show,
Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
And that's going to do it. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.